Yeah, Joey, for next meeting, can we make sure we get the chief up here, the fire chief, someone else squeezing in? We might have to sit on someone's lap. Sure. Yeah. If we get you up there. Smooth chairs.
It was hanging on the.
Yes, you're a little spurred. I call the Muhlenberg Township Board of Commissioners meeting for Monday, December 19, 2022. The order, all please rise to the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Marcy. Just the session for minutes, please, before the meeting. And first order of business is I'd like to entertain a motion to appoint Walt Lasoda to fill the vacancy for the unexpired term of John Hinhoff.
So.
Second. Any questions or comments? Mr. Lasoda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those of any? The ayes have it, so ordered. So if you could join us with the Honorable Judge Sprecher, we would appreciate you being sworn in. Congratulations.
Repeat after me, please. Raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. I, and state your name. I, Walt Lasoda, do solemnly swear. That I will support. Obey and defend. The Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of Pennsylvania. And the laws and ordinances of Muhlenberg Township. And that I will discharge the duties of Commissioner. With integrity and fidelity. Congratulations.
And Chief Loco, if we didn't come up, also be sworn in. You're not off the clock yet, you're out there.
Raise your right hand. Place your left hand on the Bible. I, and state your name.
I, Alex Olco,
Do solemnly swear.
that
I will support.
I will support,
Obey and defend. The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States,
And the Constitution of Pennsylvania.
the Constitution of Pennsylvania,
And the laws and ordinances of Muhlenberg Township.
and the laws of the Township.
And that I will discharge the duties of chief with integrity and fidelity.
I will discharge the duties of chief in
Integrity and fidelity. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. for attending again on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. So, moving on, we have our first public portion of time for residents and taxpayers to comment on matters of concern, official actions, or deliberations that may be come to the Board of Commissioners. Charles Shaw, sign in first.
I'm Charles Shaw. I was requested to ask why Santa, instead of riding around on the fire truck when everybody can look out the windows and see him, and he now has to go to the park where everybody else has to go to the park.
I cannot answer that question. Yes.
No, I can't.
I can answer that question. It's mostly because when the fire company made their rounds with Santa Claus, they weren't able to travel all of the roads in the township. So this was their attempt to have a central location for everybody to be able to come and see Santa Claus.
Well, I personally think that everybody trying to get to the park for that is a lot harder than him riding around.
The fire chief will take that into consideration for next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Linda.
Okay, Linda Roebuck, I'm the president of the Board of Trustees at the library. I just wanted to thank the township for the consideration for the budget and everything else that you do for us. The Trail of Lights that we did with the Arts Board was a success, and we thank you for that, and of course for all parents' help. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Linda, I'd like to thank you for all your involvement over the years. For
Thank
being
you.
very dedicated, and really holding the library together. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Russo, Colleen?
And it makes me laugh a little every time that Santa comes around. It takes me like a good 15 minutes to realize that there's not a gigantic accident in the township or in Temple. And I think, oh, it's Santa. So I know we've talked about the traffic on 11th Ave, and I don't know if we'll ever feel like take care of that. But right now, the small section, I guess it's like the 4100 block, where it's the most narrow. There's no homes. It's like the 10th Avenue, behind 10th Avenue, there's no homes on that section of 11th Avenue. It's a very narrow section. People are driving like into the grass. It's like a big mud pit right now. You literally have nowhere to go if there's two cars coming that way. At least in some parts of 11th Avenue, if there's two cars, you can drive into the stones or into where people park, where we're parking. But this one section, it's between Midway and Park. If that's a possible section to make one way, that would be a great place to start. I'm suggesting that section be made one way going north. That's my suggestion, to go north between Midway and Park. That will be a great place to start. That might slow it down, that might reduce traffic. I don't know, but that's my suggestion to start, because there is nowhere to go. I generally go that way to come home from work. And I sometimes sit, coming from Fresh Valley, I stop at the intersection of Midway. And then I sometimes stop till a couple cars are coming south from Park going towards Midway until they all come through. Because I'm not running off the road to make room for two cars, and
As a
people line up
resident,
behind me.
how do you feel the neighbors would react to making 11th Avenue one way all the way?
All the way. That I can't speak for everybody. I mean, there's a lot of older residents, like, for instance, my neighbor doesn't even drive. And there's another couple that are probably in their 70s and 80s that drive very infrequently. So, you know, we would have to, and a lot of the other neighbors down like further, I don't really even have communication with, so I can't speak for a lot of the neighbors. It would have to be, we would have to start asking around.
With the way Hay Avenue is now with traffic. And, a lot of people complaining about it being very narrow and 2 cars can't get by. That was my suggestion. I don't know how long it was, but I don't know what the, how do you go about making it one way?
Right, what's the best way?
You have to amend the traffic ordinance of the township to designate it as a one-way street. I don't think, and the chief may know better than me, I don't think you have to show warrants to make it one way. No. So I think it's just an action by the board would have to advertise an amendment to the traffic ordinance and list it as one of the one-way streets.
I just thought maybe with this one section, one block, maybe even might inconvenience enough to slow down. When you look, like even during the school hours, if you look at Kutztown Road, if you sat on a corner on Kutztown Road and watched the number of people that want to avoid the light at Kutztown Road and Sharp, the number of people that jet off onto Midway to, or South Temple, I guess it is, that want to come up South Temple or Midway and then shoot across to go behind the MTAA field and then come out at Fresh Valley. It's pretty, there's a lot of cars that then they're avoiding the traffic light. It's a lot. So I know it's not a lot of time. It's, mostly during the school year and then during times when the field's being used and, most work hour times and. But anyway, so I thought that would be a time to, or at least a section to try, because like I said, there's nowhere for 2 cars to go. And if you go up there now, you'll see all the tracks of mud going into what I think is, I don't know if that's their personal property going all the way up to 10th Avenue to that road. There was a whole bunch of straw there for about a month ago. I don't know who put the straw there to try to eliminate the mud, but now it's just all mud again. So I don't know who takes care of that property, if it is the property owners. But it's now mud.
Well, I think, Colleen, so what we can do is at least send our law enforcement personnel, our public works superintendent out to evaluate the road and the condition like you're describing. You know where you're at. And then to gain some feedback to the neighbors, if you don't know all of them, we could post an apron and say, we're considering in January making this one-way road. If you have any concerns, please contact the township and let them see if we can gain some feedback that way and make sure that it makes sense from a public safety standpoint, it makes sense from a fire standpoint, it makes sense from a public works standpoint, that we're able to do that, and that's the safest thing for everybody.
We've not had the speed, the thing that shows you how fast you're going, we've not had that up there, and I know it was talked about. I know I drive past Exide every morning, and that's been there like 3 times in the last 2 years, I think, it's been there like 3 or 4 times, and I know it makes a difference, like I've seen people, when that's there, people slow down.
We
That
can
shows how
actually
fast you're
correct very
going.
quickly and need that information, so, yeah, why don't you give us a month to come up and we'll be in contact with you and to see
Okay.
if we gain any feedback from other residents, if we would consider to do the whole thing.
Okay,
And then go from there. Fair enough.
there are some new people up there too.
Yeah,
so-
you're right. You're right.
I see it every day. They blow the stop signs they put in, they speed,
Yeah.
I was actually just there this past week. Wanting to bring it to your attention to maybe go one way on the section she's talking about.
I got, yeah. go ahead.
My only question is there impact if you make just the one section one way and not the rest of the road?
Not necessarily because of the signage I can do when you come up to said park. That, you know what I mean, there's ways to do signs to be able to do that. What would. She brings up a good point by making it go north, because what people are doing is avoiding the school traffic and they're flying. And, this time of year, you don't really notice it, well, you notice it, but you don't, it's not as bad. But when it's warm out and the kids are walking back there and the cars that are flying, it's getting bad.
I mean, I hear it is excuse me, here's two separate issues. I mean, one is just the volume of traffic and the width of the road. The second part is just enforcement in general, and I know, Chief, that that's just a question everywhere in the township right now. People just do not obey speed limits there, period. So but I think.
We've always had trouble with the speed, that's, you know, one thing, but now it's the volume added to that. It wasn't so terrible, but now that it's paved and it's a shortcut, it's, yeah. The potholes were kind of a help,
So, you know,
but it's too narrow to take all that traffic on. Because our mailman almost got taken out so many times. I mean, he's about had it because the people just are impatient and they sail around him so many times. Somebody clipped his mirror, like almost took it off. And yeah, it's just,
We'll take a look at it in January, take the action, and we'll do so we'll.
Okay.
Keep posting, we'll put the tracks out.
I know there's so many things that are so much more important.
No, I mean, that's.
I understand those things, I totally get it, but I just came up with, I was just coming down the road and I thought, well, this section could be a start, like,
Yeah.
there's really no room for people to go. I know I'm not driving in that mud. I will sit there and chicken, like, I will pitch it with someone. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on the first public portion? Okay, moving on. Need a motion to approve the entire consent agenda?
move.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. No, depending. The ayes have it, so ordered. Any unfinished business?
Yeah, Mike, I'd like to bring up some information for the board and for the general public. Excuse me again, last Wednesday on the 14th, we had another in our series of comprehensive plan update meetings with the county. This particular meeting was geared to review land use. It was informative. We sat down, we discussed where we are today. We talked an awful lot about the Fifth Street corridor. We also talked a lot about some of the issues facing the school district, because the school district in Laureldale also sit on the board to redo the comp plan. There are a lot of things that we need to take into consideration as a board of commissioners when we're reviewing and approving development within the township. And one of those things is the impact on the school district by, let me make sure I have this right, by the year 2031, the school district is looking at 5,000 students. And they are already pretty much maxed out as to the number of students they have and can accommodate. And you know, we're not just talking classroom size, but you're also talking all the other activities that go along with that. But you know, part of land use also, from a township standpoint, as we look at development and we look at Fifth Street in particular, you know, we had a study done a number of years ago. You know, we have to give a nod back to that study and kind of take a look at what's changed in the environment. Because we talked before, and I know I brought this up, you know, at that point, we still had the mall anchoring one end, we have Walmart anchoring the other end, and a lot has changed with what types of businesses are coming in. So the next meeting in January, it will be January 11th at 5:30 here. We're going to start actually talking more about what we can be doing as far as future development goes. One of the things that did come up at this meeting is we are looking at the time now to begin some sub-meetings within the township with department heads and with the residents, the information that we got from residents as to just what we want to lay out for the future. So while the county is providing us an awful lot of information, it still boils down to Muhlenberg Township deciding what we want to be, how we'd like to grow, types of businesses, and what types of issues we need to address in the comprehensive plan. And I mean, that could be anything from. You need to go? From the number of police officers we have to, what type of fire service we need in the future. So there's still a lot of questions. Those meetings will probably start in earnest sometime after we have the next meeting with the county. So we can sit down and start talking about some future plans. So the comprehensive plan is moving forward. But there's still an awful lot of work to do, but we're really starting to get into kind of the meat and potatoes of it, if you were. But I know, Walt and Vanessa were there, and Mr. Wolfinger were there. Jim was there, as well as representatives from Laureldale, and his name is right out of my head from him, Ken Patterson from the school district, and he's there in a facilities administration capacity. So the conversations are very good. But I'm really looking forward to the January meeting. But I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, if you have anything else you'd like to add to that.
I think the only thing I would add is that we did have a survey that went out, and I don't remember the exact number, but the county was pretty impressed with the number of residents that did complete the survey. We're supposed to get those results.
Yeah, we should get those 406 in my mind.
Yeah, 400. So, I mean, that's a good foundation, is to start getting residents' feedback as to where do you see the Muhlenberg Township going in the future.
A lot of those responses basically said, we don't need more people. Which kind of goes in the same line with the school district's problems. They have 4,000 kids in the Muhlenberg School District right now. The middle school doesn't have enough room in the auditorium for all the kids to come in for an assembly. So what does that mean? That means they have to make it a bigger building, which means higher taxes. I agree. I don't want to see a lot more people come here. I want to see quality of life improve. And maybe improve our businesses. If we have people come in, I want people coming to Muhlenberg for work. And not just have sprawl all over the township. Because that causes problems. You need more police, you need more everything. And one of the concerns that I know this board has been concerned about has been turning single residential homes into multi-residential homes. That's what happened to the city of Red. And what we want to do is we have rules here about not changing a single family home on 8th Avenue or wherever into a multi-family home. Because it's not just for that particular family that wants to have their kids move in or whatever. 10, 20 years from now, that house is going to be sold and it's going to be a 2-unit. And I think it's very important for us to have our boards, zoning boards, planning boards, hold to the rules and stop all these variances, allowing changes in a single residence. That's 4,000 kids right now, and that's with no new building. And I guess 5,000 was with no more building.
Correct. And by building, you need no more residential buildings being built.
So if you continue to build more and more homes like we have on Hay Avenue, we're going to need a huge school district.
So one of the things that will come out of this is as we kind of crystallize a future vision for Muhlenberg, and what we'd like to see as far as development come in, and that's business and residential. And residential, I don't necessarily mean new subdivisions, but how do we make use of the homes that we have? It'll give us the opportunity then to go in and look at our zoning and review, do we need to make any zoning changes? And we'll also go in and start to review ordinances, and do we need to make any ordinance changes? And those are two very important components that also be an outcropping of as will happen in January as we move forward.
Any further comments? Thank you, Commissioner. My only comment on it, and I appreciate Commissioner Lurch running point for that, a very important process, because I know it's gotten a lot of social media chatter over the last month, but as you are aware, we did pass that. The Board of Commissioners did purchase the pool property because of some of the long-term issues we see with townhome and apartment development, so we could maintain the consistency of the corridor to attract businesses and not it turn into, you know, a whole bunch of townhomes and things of that nature. So we did think that was an investment to have in the corridor, because we did long-term, the school district was already overcrowded. It was a way to protect that property and not have it go, you know, who knows what would happen, but now we can kind of control that very important piece of real estate. So it wasn't done to recreate a pool. There will not be a pool there. We're already discussing with some economic development arms across the county what we can do to attract someone to develop the property for a business, not for residential. So hopefully, you know, some of the crazy things you see on social media, but that's the truth of the story, and the board unanimously agreed to that at that time. So, and that goes right in what Commissioner Lurch is, you know, how we develop that long-term plan of what even that parcel looks like. So I thought that was worth mentioning, since it has been discussed amongst members of the community. All right, any other unfinished business? Moving on to new business, motion to approve the payment of bills presented by the Director of Finance and Customer Service.
Move. I'll second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to authorize the solicitor to advertise the 2023 meeting dates and times.
Move.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. I need a motion to adopt ordinance 610, establishing the 2023 annual budget.
I'll move.
Second.
Questions or comments? I think we hammered this home for those of you in the audience. We are not raising our taxes for this year. So with the economic climate out there, we're investing some more money into our fire departments. If you're at other meetings from a line item budget standpoint, but because of our reserves we've built up, well, we're trying to hold the line on taxes because we understand that the external environment is tough on everyone. So I appreciate all the hard work the board and the staff have done to be able to have us do that. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to revise policy 2020-01 PTO policy.
Second.
No, sorry.
That's right, we are on.
I'll go back. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Sorry, I missed item D there. Motion to adopt ordinance 611 establishing the 2023 tax rate.
Move. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Any motion to adopt resolution 2022-9 adopting the 2023 omnibus fee schedule.
Move.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. I need a motion to adopt resolution 2022-10 setting the refuse and recycling rate.
I'll move.
Second.
We have some explanation of
It is unchanged from this year. The senior discount does also carry.
Oh, you want to hear?
And Jim, they do not need to reapply for the senior discount, correct?
No, they do not.
Okay.
No.
We assume they didn't get any younger.
Is it time for the solicitor report? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Those, if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. I need a motion to adopt resolution 2022-11 adopting the 2023 employee compensation schedule along included in that would be a Christmas bonus discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Noes, if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. Need a motion to adopt resolution 2022-12, appointing the Berks County Tax Claim Bureau as a delinquent real estate tax collector.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Noes, if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to adopt resolution 2022-13, appointing H.A. Berkheimer as the 2023 amusement tax collector.
Moved.
Second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Noes, if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. I need a motion to adopt resolution 2022-14, authorizing the 2023 traffic single maintenance contract with Telco.
Moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. I need a motion to award the annual snow removal contract to Empire Wrecking Company.
Moved. Second.
Any questions or comments? Other than it's not going to snow, so we should be good.
And that's just for emergency.
That's correct.
Yeah, that needed base, it just was.
And that's just to remove snow that was plowed there. They're not plowed. Right.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. I need a motion to approve payment application number 1, final to Donald Myers in the amount of $526,443.99 for work completed on the annual road paving project.
Moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those if any. Sorry. The ayes have it, so ordered. Motion to approve payment application number 1 to Hammer Construction Inc. in the amount of $66,309.75 for work completed on the salt shed project.
Moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. Motion to authorize the public works superintendent to purchase a John Deere 1600 wide area mower in the amount of $66,096.75 to replace an existing mower.
Moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
That's what 25% discount.
And that's still less than a comparable, that's still less than a comparable brand with a guarantee that we will have it in springtime. The other company couldn't, they told us we would have it in 2024. So, yeah.
And they gave a 4-week, this company gave us a 4-week window to even order it, so it is for next year, it's not like we're buying it today, we're just getting the order in.
Gotcha. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to accept the resignation of Fire Chief Larry Warner.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments?
I'd like to just, again, I know I mentioned this last month, but I'd like to again thank Chief Moyer for his service to the township. He's the first employee chief that we've had. He was hired as a part-time chief, and he came into the township as we moved through our merger process. It was a difficult time. It's always difficult to come into a new job, and it's difficult to come into a brand new job. I think Chief Meyer took us through some difficult periods and helped to lay the groundwork for where we are with the merger today and where we stand to move forward. So again, I just like to thank Chief Meyer for his service, and I wish him well in his continued success as an employee with the city.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. I need a motion to approve the settlement agreement with the township employee whose employment has been terminated.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. And one other new business item, we do have, we discussed with the chief's request for a motion to extend 3 conditional offers of employment to candidates on the police civil service list, and you will all receive a copy of that list.
Move.
Second. Any comments, chief?
Thank you.
Comment, it's nice having a female,
Yeah, hopefully,
haven't had one in a long time.
right.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No, if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. Any other new business for anybody?
I have 2 items. One I hope is a simple item, but I've had a number of people approach me about the trash bill payable to Muhlenberg Township Board of Commissioners. Can we shorten that? I'm sure people are probably just writing something out anyway, probably just says Muhlenberg Township, but it specifically states Muhlenberg Township Board of Commissioners.
We'll probably cut it down to Muhlenberg Township.
I don't know that we need a motion for that.
Yeah, I think our bank accounts are actually the township of Muhlenberg,
Township, okay,
you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I don't think you need a motion, like, that's just
It's
administrative.
just administrative.
Fine.
The other item, I'd like to give something else to our new fire chief to maybe look into. I had multiple complaints about the closure of the substation, the sub fire station, on Tuckerton Road as a polling location. I don't know the exact reason that they weren't using that any longer, but the polling station for precinct 8 was moved over to the Lutheran church, which already has a polling location there. And so I know during the primary and the general election, it was very crowded, and it was a lot of extra work and headache for the poll workers. So if possible, I'd like to see that location reopen at the substation.
Thank you, Commissioner Woolley. Let's see here. I need a motion to appoint members to the various boards and committees per the 2023 appointment summary provided by the township manager.
You want to spell that or just? Do it that way?
We can. Let's do the motion, and then if you want, you have them, we can read them all. if you'd like.
Robin Moyer, 3-year for zoning, Fred Hack, and Brad Cooley, 5 years for the parks. Barbara Mills, Rachel Conrad, 3 years for the arts board. Frank Sabatucci, Vanessa Pagan for the planning commission.
Thank you. So I'll make a motion. We accept those as authorized township manager.
I'll second.
Any further questions or comments? Just thank everyone for volunteering and giving up their time. It's one of the most valuable things you can do is give up your time, and we seem to always have vacancies, so we appreciate those serving our community. So, any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. And I need a motion to appoint commissioners to various liaison roles for the department liaison schedule. So moved.
Second.
We'll post this on our website. We're not required by first class township codes to have specific liaisons to departments. However, just because of the size of Muhlenberg Township, we found it more effective that if one of us can be kind of a lead, I don't know, a sounding board, or can come back with reports to the board. It provides, a little easier use of communication. Obviously, policy decisions always have to be voted on by this body. So we'll be posting that on the website if you're interested. But any other questions or comments on those? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any. The ayes have it, so ordered. Public portion, of anyone else wish to speak under the second public portion? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to state of comments. Chief, welcome back there. Do you have any comments you'd like for tonight?
A few words. Been here 2 weeks so far. Met, the team here at Muhlenberg Township. Looking forward to working with each and every one of you. Few things I've noticed here at the Fire Rescue Division. We have dedicated people that are very prideful in what they do. Looking to develop that and kind of get things back on the right track moving forward.
Thank you, Chief. Our own chiefs.
I just have a few things. The cars that we received last month that were authorized, we actually had those in our possession and they're are already marked, getting ready to get upfitted. On the 12th of December, myself and Sergeant Sawyer met with the superintendent from the schools regarding the SRO program. That's moving along. And the police department / the township also just got notified that we received our grant that we applied for. So we'll be implementing that program. Hopefully in the very near future.
The camera, that's just so the public.
Yeah, it's for body cams, in-car video systems, and also stationary LPR systems in the township. We applied for a grant and preliminary, we were notified that we received our grant request, which was a little over $427,000. So that program will be entirely funded.
Thank you, Chief. Good news. And that's our only school resource officer. So. Here.
Just want to say happy holidays, everybody.
Notable.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Joseph.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy new year. If it would snow, which I don't think it's going to, obviously, the go-to Muhlenberg app, or Facebook, or website, all that good stuff.
Period.
Yeah, there's still a few piles of leaves left out there. We will get around to them. We have a truck that we can actually switch back and forth between plowing and leaf collection, so just be patient. There's a lot of guys off this time of year, end of the year with holidays. And Merry Christmas and hope for no snow.
Thank you. Last but not least.
We have a planning commission meeting on Wednesday, here, starting at 7 p.m. Also, stay posted to our website for delays in trash pickup as a result of the holiday. I don't know that we've gotten that schedule yet from them, have we?
We have not.
No, so both Christmas and New Year's will fall on the holiday, will be that Friday. Also, another plug to the Go-To Muhlenberg app. That is the township's official resource for reaching out to residents. So if you're not already enrolled, if you don't already have the app, get it. We'll send out pushes and notifications via that app.
Thank you, Jim. Just dates here. Who's first? Mr. Lurch.
So it's the time of year to kind of sit back, relax, and reflect on where we've been and take a look at where we're headed. We had certainly some highs this year in the township, and we had some sad news. A lot of changes. I think we are well positioned to move into the next year. I think it's going to be a difficult year. There's a lot of challenges still facing us, but I think we have a really good team in place to do that. So I wish everybody happy holidays and a safe and prosperous new year.
Mr. Wolf.
The Muhlenberg Ambulance Association is having a membership drive. And I don't know if you had a chance to look at the front page of the paper a couple of days ago. The Berks Regional Ambulance will not be providing service for either there's Amity Township and
Union.
Union. Well, and what's the other town? Birdsboro. Anyway, they can't afford to have a unit dedicated to those areas because they doesn't support the department. And this isn't something that's just happening in Western Berks. This is happening throughout the state. Ambulance associations they're dropping out. They can't afford it because there's a lot of reasons, but a lot of reasons the money flow doesn't come in from the insurance companies. And I don't want that to happen here. And one of the things you can do to support the Muhlenberg Association is to join, being a member. It's $60 a year. And if you are a member of the association, if you need an ambulance, they will come, take you to the hospital. There's no charge. They will accept whatever the insurance company will pay. If you have a heart attack and you go to the hospital, that bill can be $1,500. And a lot of times insurance companies will only reimburse maybe $250, $300. And being a member of the Muhlenberg Association not only protects you, but supports the association. So please join. It's a good deal. And I don't want to get to the point where our ambulance association is going to be cutting staff, cutting units to come out to serve us. I'd like to know that we have 2, 3 ambulances ready to come out in case we need them in our houses.
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Cavell.
I just like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a safe holiday season.
Thank you. Commissioners, the newly appointed commissioners.
I would just like to thank my fellow commissioners for the opportunity to serve the residents of Muhlenberg Township for the next year. No way could I fill the shoes of Commissioner Butch Imhoff, who was extremely passionate about our residents and the townships, but I'll do my best to fill those shoes. So say thanks for that opportunity. And happy holidays to everybody. To me, most important thing is health. Without health, you don't have a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. So wish everybody a happy and healthy year too.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just quickly for me, once again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Just so you know, and update our website will be updated on December 23rd and December 30th. We will be closing the township offices at noon to give our employees the opportunity to start an early. Sorry, Chief, this isn't you guys, but for our other employees to go and start to enjoy time with their family. So they can do that. Our staff is extremely dedicated. We have probably been at the same FTE count for a long time here in this community. These guys do a lot for only 10% of your entire tax dollar, by the way, your entire tax bill. So we thank them and want to give them some time to spend with their families, more extra time. So hope everyone enjoys the holidays, stay safe and no snow. Thank you.